So I had about 2 days of grief, just missing things from the past, I guess. And today I woke up and I had had 9.5 hours of sleep, and I just felt at peace. I had spent a lot of time in prayer yesterday and the day before. And honestly, last night I had started panicking, and I started a list of everything that had not changed in the last 2 weeks. I realized that my family hadn't changed, that what I drove hadn't changed, who I was hadn't changed, what my marriage was like hadn't changed. There's just dozens and upon dozens of things that hadn't changed. And then I made a list of everything that had changed and then everything I was scared of. And I realized that the things that had changed were probably worth changing to start with. My busy lifestyle, my stress levels ironically went down. The time I had to wake up every morning had changed. Little things like that had changed. But most of it, even my consumer lifestyle, it was worth the change. It was a good change. And all the things I was scared of, they were so far in the future that they literally made no sense. I was scared that we would run out of electricity, or that the water would stop, or that life would never return to the way it was. And I realized these things that I was were scared of, they were ridiculous. They really were. Even if they happened and came to fruition, we would all get through it. We really would. Every change that has had to happen in our society in the last 2 weeks, I think, has made us stronger as people. It's made us stronger as families. It's made us stronger in church. I know that my friendships with my friends have all just been reinvigorated over the last 2 weeks. And I bet for you it's the same thing. We have some really honest fears right now, fears that our businesses are going under, fears that we might get sick, fears that loved ones in the medical field are being put at risk. And those fears are valid. But you know what's also valid? The words of scripture. They haven't changed in 2000 years, probably longer for the Old Testament. And in that same scripture, God said that he does not change. He doesn't. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so while our circumstances feel changed to us, this isn't the first plague God has pulled a people group through. This isn't the first sickness God has had to answer prayers through. Jesus said that he is the way, the truth, and the life. And I still believe that. I believe it just as much today during this coronavirus plague as those who had to live through the bubonic plague believed it. And Jesus said that he came to bring us peace, not a peace that's not as the world gives. It's not a peace found in economy, or it's not the peace found in the stock market. It's not the peace found in the medicine or in our doctor's office. It's a different kind of peace, a peace that comes with prayer and steadfastness and meditation on scripture. That's the kind of peace Christ brings to us. Christ also brought a peace for what happens when everything goes wrong, even up to the point of death. Because there isn't a sickness in the world, there isn't an economic crash that has ever been imagined that could keep us away from Christ. His word is true, and we can find solace in that. I think as all of us go through the grief process, as we miss things from the past and we face fears of what's coming in the future, remembering that if we run to the throne room with prayers and petitions, if we cast all of our fears and our anxieties on the Lord, He's going to carry us through it. His solutions might not look like what we imagine we would wanting, but I can promise you this. God hasn't forgotten us. His arm isn't all of a sudden too short to save. All of those promises of Scripture are still valid. The big things haven't changed. The details of our life have changed. But I can promise you God's plan is still exactly the same.